In this video, I'm going to demonstrate using 3D cell references to create a formula. But before we get started on that, there's a couple of steps that we need to take. I want to create a summary worksheet for this workbook where I can summarize the data from the 4 quarterly worksheets. So rather than creating a new worksheet for that, I'm simply going to copy the quarter 1 worksheet that way I don't have to re-enter all of that information. So once I have that worksheet copied, I'm just going to change the sheet tab name to Summary. And then I'm going to move the worksheet behind the documentation sheet. And then I'm ready to get started. I'm going to need to do some editing to this worksheet, this new worksheet, but I don't have to re-enter all of the titles and the row headings and the column headings. So the first thing I'm going to do is just add the year under the label New Mexico. So I'm going to type in 2013, and then I'm going to change this title here so that it says totals rather than quarter 1. Finally, I'm going to delete the quarter 1 data so that this is blank and I can fill in the summary data, but my sum functions that I entered before are still preserved, so I won't have to re-enter those. Okay, so I'm going to switch first of all to quarter 1, and then I'm going to group quarter 1 through quarter 4 because I want to add the year to all of the worksheets. So rather than typing it in again, I'm going to use a formula. I'm going to type in the equal sign, then I'll click on the Summary Sheet tab, and finally in the Summary Workbook I will click on cell A2. If you look up here in the formula, you'll see that it has added the sheet tab name followed by an exclamation point, and that is the syntax for including the sheet tab name in a formula. And then that is followed by the cell or range of cells that you clicked on that particular sheet. So that finishes that formula. I'm just going to press enter. And now if I click on quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4, I see that the year has been added to all of those worksheets. I'm going to go back to the Summary tab now because I want to summarize or add up all of the ticket sales from those 4 quarterly worksheets. And I could do that by just simply typing in a formula that said equal quarter 1 B6 plus quarter 2 B6 plus quarter 3 B6 plus quarter 4 B6. That's either a lot of typing or a lot of pointing and clicking. And there's an easier way to do that, and that is by using a 3D cell reference. So to do that, I'm going to start out by entering my function, and I'm going to use the sum function, equals sum. And then I want to tell Excel to include the information from all 4 quarterly worksheets. So I'm actually going to group them within my function. I'm going to click on quarter 1, and then shift and click on quarter 4. And if we look up here at the formula bar, you'll see that it's defined the range quarter 1 through quarter 4. I would then click on the cell where the information is stored that I want to add up, which in this case is B6 on each of those sheets. And once I've done that, I can press enter. And there is the total for all 4 quarters for the animal habitat for adult tickets. So I'm then going to do the same thing for the children's tickets. I'm going to group the worksheets that I want to summarize. And this time I'll click on cell C6 and then enter. And there's the total for the children's tickets for the animal habitat. We'll do the same thing for the adults' ticket sales. And again, grouping the worksheets. This time I'll click on cell D6. And finally we'll do the children's ticket sales. Type in my function, group the worksheets, type or click on cell E6 and enter. So there I have the totals in each of those categories for the animal habitat. Now to fill in the rest of the totals, I'm going to go ahead and select those 4 cells, B6 through E6, and use the fill handle to drag those the formulas down. Now before I click away from that selection, I'm going to go to the autofill options button and I'm going to select fill without formatting. And the reason that I'm doing this is if I don't, I'm going to lose my bottom border here because the group of cells that I'm copying does not have a bottom border on it. Okay, so let's take a look at cell B9, which is the Sea Aquarium Orlando. And right now the total ticket sales or the total number of tickets sold for adults is 78. I'm now going to go to my quarter 1 sheet and change the amount of tickets that were sold in cell B9 to 17. And you'll see the total has changed here and also here on your summary sheet. And that's how to use a 3D cell reference, to create a formula.